Hey, what's going on guys? Star here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Drifter. Now Drifter is an absolutely insane character. I just got done playing a game with him. I'll put the stats on the screen here just to show you how fucking crazy he is. I mean, obviously it's like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning when I played him, and people aren't going to be that crazy at that time in the morning. But Drifter nonetheless is an absolutely insane character. What else do I say, man? This guy does damage. Don't mind my 7 here. He is glitched for some reason, but we're not going to need him. So Drifter is a character that mostly likes to play alone. Obviously, he does better in groups, but he is really crazy when it comes to 1v1ing characters, or even at this point 1v4ing to 1v3ing characters. I mean, if I were to compare this character with week 1 Shiv, yeah, this character is just as crazy as week 1 Shiv, except he's not doing mass amounts of damage. It's more of just like one at a time. But yeah, now we're going to show you how to use Drifter. So obviously we have my build here. Now this is a modified version of the default build. I did use the default build when I first started, or when I played as him for the first time today, only because I didn't have the time or just didn't care enough to make a build for him. And honestly, I wanted to see what the deadlock team was cooking. So I ended up taking his default build here and modifying a bit so we have something like leech, just so you get that extra health in ya. But just in general, I think that the build in and out of itself, going from left to right, is already a pretty decent build in and out of itself. And I mean, this is so powerful that I feel like that there aren't really any other options for me to make like an optional lane to add extra items, because all the items that you see here are crazy. Now you may notice that he doesn't have any spirit ability damages, and that's because despite him having abilities here, none of these truly do spirit damage. Even his one here doesn't really... Oh, wait, it does do spirit damage. Never mind, but it's not that important, because mainly I think that you get that when you unlock his 5th version right here, you get that spirit damage. But usually when you're using his 1, which has a really short cooldown, it's mostly doing what it considers melee damage. And yes, they cannot block it despite it being called melee damage. He's very, very powerful. Now, I wouldn't use this character as a melee character like Billy. Obviously, when he does something like this, it makes sense for you to do something like that. And that's kind of why we have something like Backstabber here available for you to use. But nonetheless, we're not doing anything with Spirit here. Gun and health is pretty much a tank. Gun and health is all you need. And yeah, he does crazy amounts of damage to solo players. So if I were to start off with kind of how to play him, I think he's really good playing in a lane, but of course, again, you want to play him solo. And if we're going to go through the abilities here, I think that unlocking Rend first while you're in the lane, then slowly going, from left to right is your best option, because as soon as you unlock Blood Scent, unlocking Blood Scent does absolutely nothing during the first part of the game. It's pretty much useless, and I would not recommend it until it's time to, actually unlock if we're doing it left or right. And, Internal Night is... yeah, it's alright. I don't really care for Internal Night. I feel like that his, this ult here needs to be buffed. But nonetheless, it does something, kind of. And would probably be better to use if you were in a group situation, in all honesty, because you can, do this to multiple targets. It's just not really as good as you would expect. But this right here, I feel like that you definitely would want to up your blood scent mostly. Probably like after you unlock these two. I mean, it's all crazy. Like, the entire build is just crazy. In all honesty, you know how it caps out at a certain point? You don't need the Starker's Mark. You don't need to enable the 2 charge ability for Starker's Mark. Because in all honesty, it's not really the craziest ability. It will, of course, do a ton more spirit damage once you're actually in the game and you level up your character a lot, but it doesn't do as much as you would, want or expect it to do. But nonetheless here, the build here is pretty simple. Of course, we're going for gun damage here and a lot of health. So, we have Siphon Bullets to steal health, Juggernaut to, completely ignore all the damage. I mean, you actually run really fast with this character. Like, even way faster with Billy having maxed out stats and stuff like that, which to me is absolutely insane. And for the damage, yeah, you just want to get this up because as you can see here, plus 65 here. So I believe it's every kill, or it kind of acts like Mina, where if you get a ton of damage into a character, this proceeds to level up. And this is probably going to be your most important thing, because then you end up dealing even more damage. So I have it 65 plus, so if I only hit 7 here, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. He's glitched. He's glitched, so I can't even use this example. But nonetheless, once you deal a ton of damage and, you kill them, this goes up and then it permanently amplifies your gun damage. So you're going to be getting, like, a ton of kills with Drifter alone. And this has a pretty short cooldown, so I would technically spam this the most. Because then, as you can see here, gain 55% bullet lifesteal against affected enemies. I mean, this thing has like a pretty short cooldown, if I'm being honest. Let's take this out. Yeah, so it's like an 8-second cooldown. And when you're in a gunfight, mostly thinking about doing gun damage like I'm doing right now, you just, bam, just like that. It feels like absolutely nothing. Honestly, I feel like that the Eternal Night is more of a situational thing. So only use it when you're like in really big groups, or shall I say versing enemies in big groups. But this Drifter build, as I said again, just like week 1 Shiv, you should be able to tank out about 90% of the damage. And with having Leech as well on it, especially with the fire rate that you're getting out of this, you're going to be healing pretty well. You're going to be healing like really fucking good. Like, you're eating good with this build, bro. Like, you're Elon Musk fucking eating good. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else there is to show off with this character. Of course, that we have Life Strike here, which is very useful once you teleport behind an enemy, and that's also why we have Backstabber here as well, because he does also do like a lot of spirit damage as well. I know that a lot of you may be asking about the Stalker's Mark and if it's really that important. I think that Stalker's Mark, it works. It's not bad. It's just that, I don't know. You definitely want to be using it while you're 1v1ing or you're 1v2ing people, or even in like a group with yourself. It's just like, it's more of like I would use if they're chasing you as like kind of like a getaway plan to like run away. Because especially with having Backstabber on, your footsteps or sound distance is 50% closer to you, so you can get away pretty quietly with this build. Of course, you could just use the default build, which is really good, but I think that this one's just going to be the best because you're getting that extra health out of it, and it's put into a much simpler format, into kind of like when you're really going to need the items and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I've been really glad that I've been able to make these deadlock videos and that people have been actually using my builds and stuff. Because even with Billy, I, played a bunch of games with him with my build. And the thing is that build that I made, I never actually got into a game until after I uploaded and published that build. And let me tell you, that build for Billy is absolutely fucking crazy. Like, the amount of games I have won is nuts. I also want to thank you guys for almost 100 subscribers. It genuinely means a lot to me. And, being able to make these guides for you, also is pretty fucking cool. So, yeah, I appreciate the support. And hopefully you guys have fun playing the Drifter.